Good morning, everyone. Today we are exploring the Hermes Enigma. This presentation is an analysis of the ultra-luxury brand that has masterfully defined exclusivity. We will deconstruct how Hermes uses unparalleled craftsmanship, deliberate scarcity, and remarkably consistent performance to create a fortress of desire. To understand Hermes, we must look at two parallel stories. On the left, a legacy of craft. From its founding in 1837 as a harness workshop to the creation of cultural icons like the Kelly and Birkin bags. Its timeline is one of careful evolution, always centered on quality and artisanship. On the right, the business of desire. This legacy translates into a masterful business model. It starts with artisanal production, no mass production, only long-term artisan training. This naturally leads to controlled scarcity, with limited runs and the infamous waiting list. This scarcity is managed through exclusive distribution, a direct-to-consumer model that avoids dilution and manufactures its products as true objects of desire. This strategy translates directly into financial haute couture, a financial performance that is as beautiful as its products. The annual revenue growth chart on the left shows remarkable, consistent growth, even through global uncertainty, with a strong upward trajectory forecasted for 2024. On the right, the revenue by segment for 2023 shows that while leather goods and saddlery remains the dominant core of the brand, ready-to-wear and accessories are also incredibly strong contributors, proving the brand's power extends beyond just its iconic bags. Geographically, the Asia-Pacific market is the largest source of revenue, accounting for 45% of sales in 2023, highlighting the brand's immense popularity in the region. But the most telling figure is the key performance indicator on the right, an operating margin of approximately 40%. This is among the highest in the entire luxury sector and reflects the brand's exceptional pricing power and precise operational control. This radar chart clearly visualizes Hermes's unique position in the luxury arena. While conglomerates like LVMH and Teal are larger in revenue scale and diversification, Hermes, in orange, competes on a completely different axis. It is the undisputed leader in craftsmanship and exclusivity. It doesn't try to be the biggest, it strives to be the most exclusive, and it succeeds. Despite this incredible success, Hermes faces significant challenges. Its future will be defined by how it balances its heritage with modern demands. Key challenges include brand dilution, or how to meet growing demand without losing the exclusivity that defines it. Sustainability and sourcing, particularly the increasing scrutiny on exotic leathers. And counterfeiting, as the superfake market becomes a significant threat to its integrity and revenue. Now, let's take a more detailed look at that legacy. This is the journey from a humble harness workshop in Paris to the absolute pinnacle of global luxury. The story begins in 1837, when Thierry Hermes established a harness workshop in Paris, serving European noblemen and winning awards for his high-quality bridles. In 1880, his son, Charles-Émile Hermes, moved the workshop to 24 Rue du Faubourg Saint-Honoré, which remains the brand's flagship store to this day. In 1900, the firm introduced the haute couture bag, designed for riders to carry their saddles. This bag is the structural predecessor to the modern Kelly and Birkin. Then in 1937, to celebrate its 100th anniversary, Hermes introduced its first silk carré or scarf, which immediately became an iconic canvas for art. The 1950s saw the establishment of the brand's iconic orange boxes, a result of post-war shortages of other colors. In 1956, the Saka Depeche was famously renamed the Kelly bag after Princess Grace Kelly used it to shield her pregnancy from photographers, cementing its legendary status. In 1984, the second icon was born. After a chance encounter on a flight with actress Jane Birkin, CEO Jean-Louis Dumas created the legendary Birkin bag. Today, Hermes remains one of the few luxury houses that is still family-owned, fiercely protecting its heritage of hand craftsmanship in an era of mass production. No brand achieves this alone. Hermes' success is protected by an exclusive ecosystem built on vertical integration, exceptional craftsmanship, and highly selective collaborations. A key note is their vertical integration strategy. Hermes prefers to acquire its key suppliers, like tanneries, to ensure absolute control over its supply chain. This ecosystem rests on two pillars. First, raw material suppliers, including company-owned tanneries, like Tanneries Dupuis, and specialized exotic skin farms. Second, artisans and craftsmanship. This is the core of the business, supported by internal training centers like the École Hermes des Savoir-Faire and partnerships with traditional French trade guilds. The network extends to strategic tech collaborations. These are highly selective, blending modern tech with heritage, such as the Hermes Apple Watch and bespoke interiors for Bugatti. On the retail and distribution side, control is maintained through exclusive franchise partners, strictly controlled concessions in stores like Harrods, and select travel retail specialists. Finally, the network includes specialized logistics, because secure, climate-controlled transport is critical for high-value inventory, and creative collaborators, such as the independent artists who design the silk scarves and the architects who design the unique aesthetic of each boutique. So, what does Hermes do all day? Its key activities are an orchestration of artisanal heritage, creative freedom, and controlled exclusivity. It begins with design and creation, an in-house artistic direction across 16 métiers, or product categories, focuses on timeless aesthetics, completely rejecting fast fashion trends. This is followed by artisanal craftsmanship. Over 50% of production is handmade in-house, implementing the one artisan, one bag philosophy for its high-end leather goods. To support this, Hermes engages in premium sourcing, rigorously selecting the finest raw materials and vertically integrating key suppliers, like tanneries, to ensure quality. It then sells these products through its exclusive retail network of approximately 300 directly operated stores worldwide, using no licensing models to ensure a consistent, ultra-premium customer experience. Finally, the brand's intangible activities are just as important. Brand and scarcity management involves cultivating an aura of exclusivity through deliberate strategies like waiting lists and avoiding mass digital advertising. And heritage preservation means actively marketing the brand's deep equestrian roots and organizing cultural events like the Sol Hermes to reinforce its legacy. This brings us to the anatomy of an icon. The brand's strength doesn't come from one source, but from four mutually reinforcing pillars of key resources, all built since its founding in 1837. Pillar 1 is human resources, the soul of savoir-faire. Arguably, its most critical resource is its artisans. Hermes invests years in training its own master craftspeople. Pillar 2 is physical resources, the fortress of quality. Hermes maintains tight control over its supply chain, with over 50 workshops in France, ownership of key suppliers, and a global network of boutiques in the world's most prestigious locations. Pillar 3 is intellectual resources, the unbreakable legacy. These are the intangible assets, the brand heritage dating back to 1837, iconic designs like the Birkin and Kelly, and the highly exclusive client lists. Pillar 4 is financial resources, the engine of independence. Hermes's financial stability, fueled by exceptional profits and a family ownership structure, shields it from short-term market pressures and allows it to focus on its long-term strategy. These 4 pillars create the virtuous cycle. They do not exist in isolation. Human talent creates the product. Physical assets ensure its quality. This quality builds the intellectual brand and heritage. The brand then generates financial profit. This profit is then reinvested to recruit and train the best human resources, restarting the cycle and creating an almost insurmountable barrier to entry for competitors. This entire system is designed to deliver a clear set of key value propositions. Since 1837, Hermes has remained the pinnacle of ultra-luxury by resisting mass production in favor of heritage and unparalleled quality. The first proposition is unrivaled craftsmanship. The one bag, one artisan policy means a single craftsperson crafts a bag from start to finish, taking 18 to 48 hours. This human touch ensures perfection. The second is exclusivity and scarcity. Hermes operates on the principle that luxury is that which you cannot buy. The legendary waiting lists for Birkin and Kelly bags are not just a logistical reality, they are a strategic tool to create immense desire. The third proposition is uncompromising materials. Hermes has the first right of refusal on the world's best leathers. Only the top tier of flawless skins are accepted. The fourth is timeless heritage. Rooted in 1837, the brand ignores fleeting fashion trends. Its designs are evolutionary, not revolutionary, which makes vintage pieces just as relevant and valuable as new ones. Combined, these factors create the ultimate value: investment-grade luxury. Unlike almost all other fashion items, Hermes products often retain or increase in value over time, making them a recognized alternative asset class. So, who is the Hermes customer? The brand strategy is driven by artificial scarcity. You don't just buy Hermes, you are invited to buy. Its retention strategy is built on the pre-spend requirement, where customers must build a relationship before being offered top-tier products. This creates the exclusivity pyramid. At the bottom, the aspirational entrant makes up around 60% of the customer base. Above them, the strategic investor makes up around 30%. Near the top, the loyal connoisseur is around 9%. And at the very apex, the ultra-elite VVIP represents just 1% of all customers. Let's look at the top 1%, the ultra-elite VVIP. These are royalty, billionaires, and top-tier celebrities. They have direct access to the rarest items, like Himalaya Birkins, without the typical waiting game. Their key motivation is ultimate exclusivity and status. Next, the loyal connoisseur. These are long-term clients who deeply value the brand's heritage and craftsmanship. They buy across all categories, not just leather goods. They maintain deep, genuine relationships with their sales associates, and their motivation is a true appreciation for artistry. Below them is the strategic investor. This customer is focused primarily on quota bags, the Birkin, Kelly, and Constance, as alternative assets with high resale value. They strategically play the Hermes game, making calculated pre-spend purchases on other items to get offered a quota bag. Their motivation is investment return and social signaling. Finally, we have the base of the pyramid, the aspirational entrant. This is 60% of the customer base. They are entry-level buyers who access the brand through more affordable touchpoints like silk scarves, fragrances, ties, or small leather goods. Their purchases are often occasional gifts, motivated by a desire to buy into the brand image and luxury experience. To summarize the brand's scale at a glance, we are looking at over 11.6 billion euros in annual revenue, distributed through over 300 exclusive boutiques worldwide. Founded in 1837, it operates in the absolute top 1% of the luxury market. This brings us to their customer relationship strategy, or the art of desire. While most brands use CRM, customer relationship management, to make purchasing easier, Hermes uses it to make purchasing harder, but ultimately more rewarding. The strategy is built on patience, human connection, and the cultivation of deep desire. This strategy has 4 pillars. 1. Engineered scarcity. The waiting list is not just a logistical necessity, it's a psychological tool that increases desire. 2. The SA gatekeeper. The sales associate is paramount. They don't just sell, they curate. Access to top-tier products depends entirely on cultivating a long-term personal relationship with one SA. 3. Uncompromising craftsmanship. The product is the relationship. The assurance that an item is handmade by a single artisan creates a bond of heritage, not just a logo. 4. No marketing department. Traditionally, Hermes claims to have no marketing department. It relies on PR, exclusive events, and supreme word of mouth driven by its exclusivity model. This leads to the unique Hermes client journey. It starts with discovery as aspiring buyers learn of the brand's mystique. It moves to entry purchases like scarves or bracelets to build a profile. This is followed by relationship building, consistent visits to the same SA, and showing genuine interest in the craft. If successful, this leads to the offer, the exclusive invitation to purchase a quota bag. This solidifies loyalty and legacy as the client becomes a lifelong collector, passing items down as heirlooms. This entire journey is defined by a high barrier to entry, delivering immense lifetime client value, all with zero mass market. Let's look at their channels. The strategy is a balance of extreme exclusivity for core goods with accessible entry points through digital and selective distribution. They maintain direct primary control over 300+ stores in 45 countries. The physical retail network is the backbone. This includes Maison flagships like the one in Paris, owned boutiques in luxury high streets, and highly selective concessionaires. The digital boutique, Hermes.com, is considered the worldwide flagship. It's designed not just for sales, but for storytelling. It offers a curated selection, rarely Birkin or Kelly bags, to maintain scarcity while increasing accessibility for accessories. For selective wholesale, distribution is limited to specific categories. This includes travel retail for silk and perfumes, wider distribution for perfume and beauty in department stores, and authorized watch dealers. Finally, experience channels are non-sales channels crucial for maintaining the mystique. These include private events for very important clients, runway shows, and public Hermes in the making exhibitions that showcase their craftsmanship. The key takeaway from their entire strategy is one word: control. Unlike competitors who rely on wholesale and licensing, Hermes maintains exceptionally high vertical integration and direct control over its channels. This ensures no dilution of brand value and maintains the scarcity that drives their immense desirability. Now, let's analyze the cost structure. Unlike typical fashion brands, Hermes invests heavily in manufacturing and, as we saw, maintains exceptionally high operating margins. This chart shows how 100% of revenue is broken down. The key insights are 1. Vertical integration. The 30% cost of goods sold represents genuine investment in high-quality materials and artisan hours, not just factory costs, because Hermes owns its suppliers. 2. Direct-to-consumer focus. Most sales come from directly operated stores. This increases retail operating expenses but ensures price integrity and the brand experience. 3. Industry-leading margins. Because of their immense pricing power and lower relative marketing spend, their operating margins consistently outperform the sector. Here we see specific examples. Cost of sales includes exotic leathers, silk, and artisan salaries. Retail operations include prime real estate rent and high-caliber sales staff. Communication is not mass advertising, but heritage exhibitions and equestrian events. And admin and R&D includes creative direction and sustainability initiatives. Moving to revenue, in 2023, Hermes International's total revenue reached approximately 13.4 billion euros, showcasing the brand's enduring appeal far beyond just its famous leather goods. This chart breaks down that revenue. Leather goods and salary is the largest at 41%. Ready-to-wear and accessories is a very strong second at 28%. This is followed by other Hermes sectors at 13%, silk and textiles at 7%, watches at 6%, and perfume and beauty at 5%. To add detail, leather goods includes the iconic bags. Ready-to-wear is a rapidly growing sector, including fashion, gloves, and footwear. Other sectors includes high-growth areas like jewelry and art of living, or home goods. This leads to a key strategic point. While iconic bags like the Birkin are their most famous products, Hermes intentionally limits their production. This scarcity strategy maintains high exclusivity and simultaneously drives demand across their other accessible categories, like textiles, accessories, and beauty. Let's place this performance in context by analyzing Hermes's position against its luxury conglomerate competitors. The luxury market is not flat. At the top of the pyramid, in a tier of their own, sit Hermes and Chanel. They command supreme pricing power with virtually zero discounting. Below them are powerhouses like Louis Vuitton and Cartier. Hermes products are considered investment-grade assets as they often appreciate on the secondary market, something almost no competitor can claim. Its primary competitors are the conglomerates. The LVMH Group's strategy is aggressive marketing, celebrity endorsement, and massive scale. Compared to Hermes, LVMH is more accessible and higher volume. Chanel is its closest direct rival in pricing, but it relies more heavily on trend cycles. The Kering Group, with Gucci, employs high fashion risk-taking to tap into youth culture. This makes it more volatile and gives it a lower price ceiling than Hermes. This highlights the Hermes competitive moat, the 4 factors that protect it. 1. Intentional scarcity. Waiting lists create desire. Demand always exceeds supply. 2. Artisanal model. The one craftsperson, one bag policy creates an unmatched quality narrative. 3. Family control. This allows for extremely long-term strategies, protected from short-term market volatility. 4. Brand resilience. The brand naturally appeals to quiet luxury trends, as it has never relied on logos. Now, let's do a final deep dive into the 2023 financial performance, which demonstrates the power of this model. The 2023 numbers are exceptional. Annual revenue was 13.4 billion euros, a 21% increase at constant exchange rates. Recurring operating income was 5.7 billion euros at a 42.1% operating margin. Net profit was 4.3 billion euros, a 28% increase versus 2022. And free cash flow was 3.2 billion euros, showing robust liquidity. This 5-year trajectory highlights the brand's resilience. Consistent double-digit growth has resulted in revenue nearly doubling since 2019, with 2023 as a standout year. As we saw earlier, Asia remains the dominant market, accounting for nearly half of all total sales at 47%. All geographical regions posted solid growth, showing strong local demand globally. This slide provides the full picture by adding year-over-year growth to the revenue by sector data. While leather goods remains the cornerstone at 41% share, look at the growth in newer categories. Ready-to-wear grew by 28%. Watches grew by 23%, and other sectors, including jewelry, grew by 26%. This shows that the diversification strategy is working powerfully. This brings us back to the key strategic challenges. As this slide perfectly states, Hermes's challenges are unique. They stem not from a lack of demand, but from the difficulties of managing extreme success while adhering to strict, century-old traditions. These challenges are the scarcity paradox, balancing high demand with intentional exclusivity; artisan constraints, the reliance on highly skilled manual craftsmanship, which takes years to scale; ethical sourcing pressure, scrutiny over the use of exotic skins; global market volatility, a heavy reliance on specific luxury markets; counterfeit sophistication, battling an increasingly advanced fake market; and digital versus heritage, resisting full e-commerce for its core products to maintain the human relationship. And these final metrics quantify those constraints. It takes approximately 2 years of artisan training time, which means annual production growth will always be limited. This scarcity, in turn, creates a high resale market, which fuels the counterfeit risk. This is the delicate balance Hermes must manage. In conclusion, the Hermes Enigma is a case study in perfect alignment. Its legacy, its business model, its partners, and its finances are all built on one single unifying principle: control. Hermes doesn't just sell products, it manages desire. It has built a virtuous cycle where craftsmanship justifies scarcity, scarcity creates desire, and desire builds a brand so powerful it is shielded from competition, trends, and short-term pressures. It has defined its own arena, and in it, it plays alone. Thank you.